Listen, old white men is running this rap shit. Corporate force is running this rap shit. Some tall Israeli is running this rap shit. We poke out our asses for a chance to cash in. Cocaine is running this rap shit. Joe Yak and E-Pills is running this rap shit. This rap shit. Quasi-homosexuals is running this rap shit. What, yo? We're running the world.
Yo, who's this?
Hold on. This is the Drink Champs, the #1 podcast in the business. And right now we're talking to, hands down, the most important man, in my opinion, in the whole music game. He's a mogul. He's been doing this. He personally signed me and taught me how to be a man with money. Right now, we got Leo Combs on the line. Let's make some noise! Yo, Leo, I gotta big you up off top, man.
Well, I want to address the comment you made about mogul. I don't consider myself a mogul. Myself a servant. I prefer if you could replace mogul with humble servant.
My beef was with Lior because I think he's a fake CEO and I think he's fronting on my culture, but he can't front on anybody else. And I'm calling him out publicly and I want him to stop trying to rape my culture, go make some money with some other people. They have people that their job is to create beef so that they can monetize it, but they don't let their culture feel it, but they make money from it and they can't make any money or get any respect in their culture. That's why they're in our culture. It is what it is. It's a perfect example of what they always do to us. They always try to, offer some paper bag of money or whatever it is, whatever selfish agenda, which is the test. and then have us divide so they could benefit and take the fight off of them and put the focus on them. Never had a beef with Jay, always with Lior and his whole crew. He's the one that ruined Rockefeller. I think it's fair to continuously make money off our culture, not make money off your own culture, not use any of your money to help our culture, but use the money you make from us to help your own culture, and then not to give the respect to the people that are the DNA of. Call Kevin Lowndes.
I don't think I've ever seen a Leo Cohen interview.
Exactly. Of course you don't see. Of course you don't see the puppet master. I don't like who he empowers and the way he empowers them. I didn't like when he hired Todd Moskowitz to run Asylum. I didn't think Todd, as a lawyer, knew anything about music. It just seemed like complete nepotism, and he was using other people's money. He got a job because of nepotism. Ask them why they got their jobs. That's what I want to see. How did Joey get the job president of Urban, and what does that mean? I need to see credentials. And I have to worry about being manipulated by somebody that's smiling, pretending that he's with you, but he's robbing you. Because when they rob you, they don't come as an enemy, they come as a friend. But I've been to these Jewish events, and I have nothing against Jewish, where I've seen him make Jay-Z give speeches. And I've been like, well, I don't understand why that doesn't happen in my culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll tell you right now, stay clear of Lior. He will rob you. He will ruin you for the money. And when you with him, you look like a slave, because that's how he looks at you. Trust me on that.
All right, welcome back. This is Hanukkah Radio, and we have a special guest calling in today, a luminary in our business and a proud Jew, Lior Cohen, ladies and gentlemen.
Clap it up, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Lior,
Thank you. I'm so thrilled and honored to be asked to do your radio station, especially on the last day of Hanukkah. L'chaim. Shalom.
We are honored to have you.
How could I help you?
Well, Lior, this one of the things we do here is we don't necessarily get too religious and talk about Hanukkah and what it stands for, although, you know, we have gotten into that in the past, but it's more of a celebration of, you know, Judaism and hip-hop, since we are a hip-hop station, and that's what we do, and your roots are definitely in hip-hop.
Jewish people have always been involved in urban cultural arts, all the way back to the early beginnings of jazz music. It's just something that's always happened.
Right.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing that I was lucky enough to be part of this industry, and it was a blessing that people treated me inside and out with so much respect.
You get criticized a lot, you know, from other execs and people like Dame Dash that call you a culture vulture, that you haven't done things. Does that bother you, or how do you feel about that?
No, it actually doesn't bother me. It would bother me if it came from a credible source. And if it's a credible source, then we could have a conversation and actually have a discussion, because if someone thinks something about me that I may have done to offend them or hurt them or do something that they misunderstand, then we'll have a dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll communicate and get to an understanding and move on, or not.
Right.
But, you know, I can't give any light to that. It's a clown right now.
But the way it was going and looking, it looked like Jay was doing everything because they blacklisted Dame. And Dame say he wasn't blacklisted, he's lying. He's blacklisted. You know what I'm saying? I remember one day I seen Leo Cohen, and I'm like, yo, what up? I'm Cho, you know, I'm the one that shot the congresswoman or whatever with Dame. And nigga Leo Cohen say to me, you know what? Yeah, and I shut that motherfucker down. He told me that on 23rd
He's talking
and
about
5th.
he shut Dame Dash down?
Yeah, he said, and I shut that motherfucker down.
And to make a long story short, just to run down my resume really quickly, I created that show called Spring Bling. Artists like Eve, I helped create that image that we see of her now. Even after I left BET, I was Dave Chappelle's stand-in, so I saw everything that happened with him. And to really capitalize it even more, basically, since 1997, whatever has happened in urban America as far as the perception on television and film, I was basically the fly on the wall. So for me and the fellas around me, it was all fun, but we did not know that we were a part of a system. Even going back to what the brother talked about with the homosexuality with the rap, here's the kicker. It's not that the rappers are gay. That's not it. That's a misconception. What it is, it's about control. See, that's what makes it, that's why you see so many buffoons nowadays in television and film, doing things that we know are like, wow, Jamie Foxx, you would say that? Wow, Jay-Z, you would actually sit there and do an anti-Semitic commercial? Because they're in a bind, because see, Jay-Z's not gay. I'll use him as an example. He's not gay, but once you reach a certain level within that weapon of mass destruction, you have to give something up. There's something that you're going to give up because you got to be down with that crew. And how do I know? Because it happened to me. That is why I'm standing here talking right now. I reached a certain level in that station. I was the only producer to ever come as a new kid and create a multi-million-dollar revenue generating show. I was the only producer in there that artists would come and be like, oh, I need D. Brad to do my show, or that actually helped create an image for artists. So it reached a certain point where now it's time for them to introduce me to the inner workings of this monster that's created. So now you have a rapper who will get turned out by a high-ranking label exec because, well, what you gonna do? I mean, if I want to be a rapper and I walk in and the label exec tells me that this is what I need to do for him because, hey, he put my album on when I really wasn't that talented. But they pushed me because they saw that I was something that they could sell. So when you bring me in a room and there's my favorite rapper right there who's in the same room, so that must mean he must have committed the same gay act as I did. So at the end of the day, depending on where your level is within yourself, you go do it. You understand? So I literally lived the devil taking me to the mountain and saying, you can either go to the left, you can have all of this. And I was there. It was ritualistically done. The vice president sent his right-hand man to me 3 straight weekends. They do everything in threes. 3 weekends in a row. Hey, D. Brad, let's go hang out. And every weekend, he kept beating me in the head. Get rid of this Rap City, man. You can do more than Rap City, D. Brad. You can do more than you need to come with us. Then the 3rd night, it was the vice president's birthday. They picked me up in a long white stretch limo. We go to Joe's Uptown, up in the Bronx in New York. We go to Joe, we hang in the VIP, get me everything I want. Then every time we hung out, it was the same way. Then they bring me to the back room. And in the back room, they had this long table with a white sheet set out. I mean, beautiful thing. Looked like the damn Last Supper. On one end is Derek Jeter, there's Stephon Marbury, there's Fat Joe, and I'm chilling. But the whole night, the vice president is on me like this. I'm trying to talk to the model chicks. He's like, nah, D. Brad, come on, sit right here. So then we party, but I'm not a drinker. So if I don't get unnecessary spirits inside of me, we get inside the limo. He drops his right-hand man off quickly. We're in the car, the man standing across looking at me like I owe him something now. And I know the look because when I was young, I had the same look for women that I took out. So I know the look, and I know the energy. And while he's doing that, he's sitting there with his legs spread open, rubbing his balls. Now, I'm in a situation where I'm like, no, what am I going to do? This is my vice president, this is my boss. But the problem is, I was just raised differently. You understand what I'm saying? I was brought up differently. So for me, I had to turn that away. But what the hell that I caught after that, this is why I don't come down on those who buffoon to sell out, because everybody ain't built for this war. Everybody's not built for that. I've been homeless. I've had my name destroyed. You understand? I've had to walk with my head up when I've been dead ass broke. He ain't seen me for like a year because I wasn't coming home when I was broke like that. I was ashamed of myself. I went from being a man to nothing because I would not cross over. As a television producer who was Dave Chappelle's stand-in, which means I did his rehearsals season 1 and 2 of Chappelle's show. I saw what happened to Dave. Dave used to give me advice all the time. And one of the key things he told me was, no matter how much money they offer you, and he said they, as he pointed to my chest, he said, never forget who you are or where you come from. And he walked away from me. And I didn't get it at the time until the nigga left. Then I said, oh. And him and Charlie Murphy would tell me the same things all the time. And then I got it. This is a war. And these cats are sorcerers.
And we need to take, and I know the words magic and sorcery takes people to make you think that I'm talking about the Eastwick Chronicles or Harry Potter, but this is real, because it's affecting our babies. So when they see all these signs visually that say 75% of the new HIV cases in New York are blacks and Latinos, it gives them the impression that everybody black and Latino is HIV positive, had AIDS. And I tell people all the time, I'm 35, I ain't never been to an AIDS funeral.
It's to take our minds off the real battle that's going on behind the music industry and say, oh, you know, those guys at top, they're making sure that nobody else can't get on. But you can't even blame Jay-Z. Why would you want to even blame that guy? You got to look at the Jewish guy or whatever. These guys like in these corporations that are you know, anonymous, you know, to the world, you know.
Nigga told me the record company's the pimp, the artist is the hoe, the stage is the corner, and the audience is the trick. Mamas, don't let your kids grow up to be rappers unless you tell them if they gonna get in this business, they better learn this business.